I think everyone intuitively knows if someone's thinking of suicide, life's pretty bad. Brene Brown has a video. I'm sure you know who Brene Brown is, right? Shame expert. She has a video that talks about empathy, right? And about, it has like a little bear, a little goat, and all this other stuff, right? Highly recommend to anyone listening, they look up empathy versus sympathy, Brene Brown.
That's such a good one. Yeah.
So once again, it's not about fixing the problem.
Right.
It's about being there with them so they know they're not alone. When you're working with someone who's suicidal, who's having suicidal ideations, who's at risk of suicide, thinking of taking their own lives, a lot of times it's because they don't have a connection. They've been hurt so much, they've been in so much pain, they've withdrawn to a point where they're not connected to life. And you need to touch, you need to reach out. Even like physical touch sometimes is enough to like, well, oh my gosh, I haven't been given a hug in forever, whatever. So we teach the soldiers, it's about connection.
Right.
Meet them where they're at. That's not comfortable. I've been training for years, trained hundreds of soldiers. I've done some intervention. I've talked. I've had, as a commander, I've had a soldier. I remember him coming in asking, well, this was before I took command, but then he ended up being my soldier when I was in command. Just the red flags. Like, something just doesn't sound right. Something doesn't feel right. And you have to ask, and then you make that connection. It grounds them. Now, compared to like CPR, right? There's warning signs for CPR.
I was going to ask you, what are some of the warning signs that we should be looking out for?
So you think about indicators, warning signs, symptoms, things like that. So are there health risk factors? Let's go back to the heart attack thing.
Okay.
If I'm eating Snickers and ice cream and fried butter every day, does that guarantee I'll have a heart attack?
No.
But can it be a factor?
Yes.
Yes. So if I have financial problems, does it guarantee I'm going to become suicidal? No. But can it contribute to the potential of me thinking suicide at some point in time?
Yes.
Yes. So there's factors that can contribute but are not necessarily correlated.
Right.
Now, but then we talk about warning signs. If I'm sitting here and then all of a sudden I just start rubbing the left side of my chest and I tell you my arm's getting tingly.
I'm calling 911.
And I'm having shortness of breath. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Calling 911. Why? Because what do you think's about to happen?
Heart attack.
Heart attack.
Right.
Those are warning signs. We know something's happening. So when you're thinking about persons at risk of suicide, we talk about all of a sudden they're giving stuff away. Maybe they had a complete overnight change of demeanor. They came in for months just somber and everything, but then one day they're just like, everything's great, everything's good. Life's better, life's peachy. This is why in the military and outside the military, when we talk about relationships, it's building that awareness. Like, something's different. Now, can it be a good difference? Sure. Maybe that person just won the lottery and everything's going to be way better.
From my experience, at that point, when they make that switch in their head, I've now created a plan.
Yep.
And I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to live these next couple days as happy as I can because I know it's
going to come to an end. I have a solution. Right?
That's what I've seen.
And so warning signs versus risk factors. Risk factors, I go in foreclosure. I've been there. Had lost my house. My credit's all upside down.
Divorce.
I was
There's
depressed.
A lot of things.
You go through divorce. You could be in abusive relationships. You could have your career totally messed up. Something happens to family, good relations, whatever it is. There's lots of risk factors out there. But the warning signs is usually the changes in behavior, the actions that we see happening. Like, he just gave this away. He loves that dog. Why is he trying to give it to it? Oh, wait, that. Or it could be reverse. Maybe someone who's super chipper and happy all of a sudden just changes 180.
It's interesting because on Instagram, when I started becoming a little bit more vocal, well, not a little bit more vocal, when I started becoming vocal about having survived domestic violence, I got people reaching out to me. I would say maybe 2 weeks in. There was posts, about loving yourself and you're not crazy and all these things. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Because my posts have shifted from family and look at all the fun things to the 10% highlights of my life to, I'm going to cuss, sorry, Luis. This shit's getting real, right? And this is the stuff that I've been experiencing that I haven't felt comfortable expressing because of lashback, because of retaliation, because of not being believed, because I was gaslighted, all those things. And I got people showing some concern. And I wasn't looking for that. It was really nice, but I had to look inward. Am I doing something, right? Is my behavior now shifted to where they're like, is something okay? And then I think I had maybe 4 months ago, Instagram sent me something like, hey, someone on here wants to make sure you're okay and is left anonymous. Like, just wanting to do a check-in. Are you okay, Regina? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I also saw that the more I posted about that kind of stuff, the more I posted about how real the trauma was that I've experienced, the less religious followers I had, weirdly enough. I actually had a lot of military follow me at that point. There was a lot of shift of my population of who started following my posts, who could resonate with it. And it's supposed to be uplifting. Like, I'm not just like damned man, and I'm not narcissist or evil, and I'm not that at all. And so when I have people, like, even in the military, if they've experienced PTSD from whatever, if they've experienced abusive relationships, if they've experienced this, it doesn't make them evil people now that they're manifesting it in different ways, but it's important to be able to recognize that, are they just experiencing and trying to come to terms with their pain versus now they're looking to hurt themselves. So how can you tell a big difference between, is someone just experiencing pain versus are they suicidal, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's where it comes down to actually asking a hard question. Everyone has bad days. We're all human. People are imperfect. I'm going to touch very briefly on the religious element there. Religion and suicide, a lot of religions look very unfavorably on suicide.
Yeah.
Right? Because, and it's not just Christianity, there's other religions out there. And so you remove the human element out of a theology, and you get to a point where there's a lot of shame in not being perfect, right? And so I'm not downplaying religion because I'm a very, very religious person myself. There's a lot of strength that comes in having faith. And a lot of people get through suicidal ideations and suicidal attempts and everything because of faith. The challenge, and my invitation would be for the listeners, most religions out there have an element of love to it, where you love each other, love one another, right? Call it good karma, call it whatever you want. Treat others the way you want to be treated, the golden rule.
Brothers and sisters,
Your brothers
kind
and
of mentality.
sisters, you're on the earth together, let's coexist, Can you find the balance between what your religion may be teaching is wrong and get to a point where you can understand that a person who is truly thinking about taking their own life is beyond the reasoning side.
Right. So it's like the letter of the law and then the spirit of the law.
Spirit of law. Are you a bad religious follower if you go and meet a suicidal person where they're at emotionally and keep them from killing themselves? I think to the contrary, you're probably a better person for just meeting them, showing that empathy, having connection there, and helping them choose life over death. Let the religion thing resolve itself over time. I remember being at what we call battle assemblies, one of those weekends, all the soldiers show up, and that this is no discredit to the chaplain, but I'm sitting in the back, I'm brand new to this unit, and the chaplain is giving a presentation on why suicide is wrong. And
Thank you, chaplain.
And no disrespect, because I love our chaplains. They do.
And the message is coming from a good place.
And his whole thing is, look at all the ways God loves you. Look at all this. Look at all this. All the things you have to live for.
Right.
But when a person's at risk of suicide, they're past that.
Right. That's just toxic positivity at that point.
It gets to be, there's rainbows and unicorns and pooping out gumdrops and everything's beautiful and dandy. No, it's not. Sometimes crap is real and it hurts and it stings and life is just bad. And that's where people isolate themselves and they get withdrawn. And so coming back to, how do you tell the difference of, what if I'm just having a bad day?
Or experiencing a bad moment, like even if it's like a couple weeks, right? A phase, a season.
So, and that's where, okay, Regina, if I'm here and I come, I see life is just horrible for you, and I come to you and say, Regina, I'm coming to you as a friend. I love you. You're a great person. You have me scared.
Yeah.
Because I'm just seeing things in you that just doesn't seem like you. Are you thinking about killing yourself? Okay. Now, if I'm right, hopefully that genuine concern for you would come across and you would be, oh my gosh, someone notices me.
I can be honest right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking about killing myself. And then we work in the intervention side of things. If I ask you and you're not thinking about killing yourself, you're just having a really bad phase, are you insulted by me asking?
So that would be your follow-up question?
No, that's my question to you. Are you insulted? Would you be insulted if I asked?
No.
No.
I would want to know, why would you think that?
Well, and that's a good follow-up question. No, why do you think that? And then I could share, like, well, you're usually this type of person in the last 3 weeks.
You're wearing all black.
And you're driving crazy, stupid fast on the roadways.
Right, you're eating bad.
Yeah.
You haven't seen you at the gym for 2 weeks.
And these are just,
things.
from my training background, these are just potential indicators that you could possibly be thinking of killing yourself. And then you would probably more than likely say, oh, well, thank you for caring.